here a couple days ago.
What's up?
Welcome to my show. Is
Takes that
that wait, are
California.
you
Takes
outside?
that California house.
Background?
I'm in my backyard.
Okay.
It's nice and
Looks
peaceful back here.
like a real backdrop because it is. Wow, lucky you. That's nice.
Yep, peaceful back here.
Would you like to introduce yourself, Mark?
Let's see. My name is Mark Johnson. I know Kristen from Front Street Animal Shelter, where I've been volunteering for. I think I'm on my 13th year now.
Dang, 13.
Yeah, I think it was February, I think 26th or something like that. And I started volunteering there uh, because of PTSD from combat, as a way of hopefully helping out with some of the stress issues, because dogs are very therapeutic. So uh, and I'm still there.
13 years, and now you're like the maintenance man, basically.
uh, Andy and myself are the two handymen at the shelter, and there's a new volunteer named Joda who just started, and he's really good. He's great. He's filling in for me while I'm recovering from my knee replacement surgery. So yep, he's good. And Andy broke his back, so I think Andy's out. I
Wow.
think he's out. I think he's done. Yeah, keeps falling off a truck. So
Jeez. Did your did your guillotine project ever get finished?
it
That
kind of
was like last year.
it morphed into a. So it started off with just doing the doors, right? Just the doors, because the doors that make the noise by zip tying the little tabs to stick out. And then we started replacing the pulleys, and so I'd order enough hardware for, I think it was 12 kennels to replace the entire pulley system on 12 kennels at a time, because that's like $1,200 worth of hardware. And last I heard, Z-Man, who's the director at Front Street Animal Shelter, said to stop doing repair work because they're working on some sort of a grant through the city to replace
Well,
all of
that's
them.
right.
And that's fine with me, because it's about an hour. It takes about an hour to replace one pulley system in a kennel.
Yeah, well, ideally the city would fix it, but here, yeah, I told you it's South LA. It's up to the city, and there's 6 shelters. It doesn't get fixed. So
There's a lot. Well, I mean, the shelter in Sacramento is Front Street. So there's the city and the county shelter.
yeah,
For people that don't know, but the city shelter, which is Front Street, it's been there since the '60s, and I know they're talking about replacing it, building a new facility. And I think a great place, I think a great location would be in the rail yard, where they're building the new soccer stadium. So keep it far enough away from the stadium so you don't get all that noise from like the events that are going on, but you get all that traffic. You get all that. That'd be a great place, but I don't know. We'll have
that's
to
the
see.
rail. That's the rail yard by the river, like up the 5.
Correct. Correct. When
Okay.
you drive over 5, passing through Sacramento, you've got the river on the left, and then you've got the rail yard on the right. It's the old Trans Union Railroad yard, something like that. It's
Okay.
just a big contaminated mess. I think they've finally cleaned it up, or close to.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
all
they
that industrial stuff leaves a lot of
keep
residue
talking
afterwards.
about.
Yeah,
Sorry,
go
they
ahead.
keep talking about putting it at the zoo, the Land Park Zoo.
Yeah, that's the rumor. That's what I've heard. That's not a bad location, but I mean,
Well,
the,
I
the
mean,
zoo.
it has similar infrastructure, but I feel like it's not.
Is it going to take up the entire zoo
I,
campus?
I don't know. That's just what everyone keeps mentioning is they're gonna put it where the zoo is because they're moving the zoo like to Elk Grove or something.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's where the zoo's going to. I mean, it's not a bad location. That's Lamb Park. That's my old neighborhood.
Yeah,
Um,
neighbors probably don't want that happening.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't think the residents in Lamb Park would object to the shelter being there. They'd
No.
object to a McDonald's. They'd object to, there was a McDonald's that got put in on Broadway, close to where that Starbucks was. I think it was in that same. It was in that same parking lot, and the Land Park Neighborhood Association got it shut down
Yeah.
because they were all the drive-through. They're littering all over the place and things like that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's like a homeless population that comes with the fast food and the animal shelter too. They have all up the street. So that's my thinking is they wouldn't
There's a
want.
homeless element everywhere in California.
Yeah. Yes,
Everywhere in
yeah, that's
California.
our state. We run off of, yeah, those are good votes. We have,
I
we have
know.
to keep those people in office somehow.
I know. There we go.
Would you
Okay.
like to go into that more? Your ideas?
No, I'm not
No?
going to get into any political.
All
No, I'm going to refrain from that.
right, that's fair.
I no, I'm going to refrain from that on camera. I'm going to refrain.
Yes, no,
Let's just say that
valid.
I don't think we're dealing. I don't think we're forceful enough in dealing with the problem. I think we're. It's the. I mean, they let it get out of hand completely,
Yeah,
totally out of
well,
hand. It's like
yeah, we enable it. It's yeah, people come here just to be homeless. It's a bunch of
it's
crazy.
unfortunate. Well, it's like I understand that with homelessness comes a lot of mental illness,
Yeah,
drug addiction,
right.
things of that sort. A lot of them are veterans, and I'm a combat veteran, so it's like I get it. I've been homeless before,
Mhm.
um,
Yeah,
but
I have too, briefly, but
there are way. I was going to say, weren't you just homeless with the fire in
yeah, my
your
house
apartment?
caught on fire. Yeah, I know. You think it's funny?
I'm not laughing at you. I'm just laughing. You're like I've been
No,
homeless
first it was
briefly.
my house caught on fire, and then the LA fires happened 2 months later. So
I
twice,
know,
yeah,
I know.
with my
That's
dogs in my car.
that's
So
crazy.
and
You're
all my
lucky. You're lucky you got out alive. You're lucky your dogs got out alive.
yeah, yeah, I am. Yeah, thankfully, by the grace of God.
That's nuts.
They're alive because of my backyard. First, because of my backyard, and second, because I had enough sense to just leave before they announced they were going to evacuate because they had no plans to do anything. So I drove
Right.
in the middle of the night and called
That's
it.
crazy.
Took
So
town.
what's LA like right now with all the fires, the aftermath? Is it crazy?
It's still apparently part of the PCH is shut down. And yeah, I'm kind of following on video that like people aren't allowed it unless you're a resident or you have a press pass there, and
In
nothing
those
is
neighborhoods?
getting accomplished. Apparently, they're not doing any type of cleaning. From what I see, there's not really any progress, and the mayor's
Well, it's
I don't
California.
know.
Nothing moves. Nothing
No,
moves with any expedited um, purpose. California, you got to get permits and everything like that. You'd
oh
think they'd
yeah, no,
cut all the red
that's the
tape.
thing. Yeah, if anyone wants to rebuild there, now there's extra permits for it's not insured, and I think at one point they were, hey guys, they were trying to declare the land like unsafe. But
Uninhabitable.
it can't be. You can't rebuild on it.
They're
Um,
gonna they're
hey,
gonna they're gonna claim it's uninhabitable because of like the
or
toxic.
something like that. That there was going to be restrictions on rebuilding because it. I don't know. I don't follow. I just hey, you guys. I
Hmm,
mostly just follow whatever pops up in my feed or what people tell me. Everyone's. There's no sense to anything. I just opt out of
that's
news.
crazy.
So
I don't think that would go over very well, especially with a lot of the wealthy people whose homes got burnt to the
hold
ground.
on a second,
Okay.
guys. Hey,
Like I said, I don't think that would go over very well, especially with the wealthy people whose homes got burned to the ground in those affluent neighborhoods. I don't think that would be. I
yeah,
don't.
it's really interesting that I mean, think what you want over what was it like 5 to 7? You showed me the map of all the fires that were all over the county, the entire county in January when it's not fire season.
Yeah, that
You see
fire app.
where
What was
was
that
caused
fire app called?
by
I forget what that. It was called Watch Duty. Is that it? Let me get my glasses. I can read this shit. Yeah, it's called Watch Duty. It's an app that deals with all the fires that are going on,
oh, that's okay.
and that app had just LA was just
Yeah, it
ablaze.
was lit up.
It was crazy, crazy.
Yeah, it was only getting worse, 0% containment. And it's been like 3 days already. It's like forget it. It's not getting better. So and then apparently right after I left my whole neighborhood was blocked with cars because then they announced they were evacuating. There's no people don't get it. They just unless they're told to do something, they just wait for the government to help. So
I wouldn't even leave. I'd be like, fuck you. I'm not leaving. I'm not gonna leave. I'll fireproof my house. I mean,
well,
I'm in
yeah, no,
Auburn,
you have
so
a house. I this is an apartment. I don't own this place. So
I get that.
yeah,
That's different though.
that's not on me.
But if there were fires that come through here, Chantel and I, my girlfriend, are going to fireproof this house. So if a fire does happen, we've got a generator, a pump, and like the hoses that you see the fire department's using, a hose that's of that size, and I'm gonna drop the pump in the bottom of the pool, and I'll use the pool water to save the house if I have to.
Yeah, you have to have a plan. There's no plan here. People just no. There's no fire.
No,
It only happens
so
to other
kind of
people
crazy.
in LA. Yeah, everybody's
So
buying houses.
congratulations on your first podcast.
Oh, thank you.
Yep,
And
yep.
it finally came about after months of talking about it.
I know. I'm so exhausted. I've got 3.5 acres of grass that I've got to mow and
Oh,
weed
gee.
eat, and I've been going at it for the last like 4 days.
That's home maintenance. Yeah, that's a lot of property.
I know, and I even have a sit down mower, and it's still a lot to do. So I'm exhausted. I'm
Yeah.
working on my garage right now, getting it cleaned up. But I was like, shit. I go, what time are we going to do the podcast at tonight? And I go, man. I said, all right, you gotta come through on this. So yeah,
No, I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you for
not a
sticking to
problem.
the plan.
Not a problem. Because you're like, you know what, this is never going to happen. I'm like,
No, I feel like that with my documentary. Like it's just every time I try to plan, nothing happens, and this too. It's just coordinating people. LA,
okay.
especially, it's impossible to coordinate with people. It's so flaky here that I just expect nothing to get done unless I do it.
I
So
thought you were going to come to the. I thought you were coming to the house. So I was like,
no,
should just come to the house with barbecue.
I would. Yeah, I don't visit anymore. It's
That's all right. I don't blame you. I don't visit there anymore except for to go to the shelter.
this
Because it's for me now. It's an hour drive,
yeah.
and it's $50 in gas for the truck.
Hmm.
So it's like $400 a month in gas to get to and from the
Dang.
shelter.
Wow.
I'm doing the brew fest though. That'll be my first. It'll be my first actual volunteer day back since I had my knee surgery.
Oh, they didn't have Brewfest yet?
No, it's the 10th. It's
Okay.
next weekend. Supposed to
Okay.
be 90 degrees for that event.
Well, as long as it
So,
doesn't rain.
well, last year it rained.
Yeah, I remember
Last
it
year was
popped up in my feed
rainy,
from last year. I remember.
right? And they're
Yeah.
like, and I'm like, you know what? I said, if you don't get something to tether down these tents, everything's going to go flying away with this wind. And she goes, well, what should we do? I go, well, I can go to a landscaping place and buy a yard of sand, put it in the back of the truck, and go get a bunch of buckets from Home Depot. And use rope and tether everything down. That's your best bet. So that's what I did. Had a bunch of sand in the back of the truck, running around with
That was
buckets of.
last year?
That was last year.
Yeah, I remember. I went in the truck with you and you went all.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yep, that was fun. That was fun. And then I don't think it actually came anything came of it. There's mosquitoes. Hold on, mosquitoes.
Ew.
I don't think everything came of it. I don't think the wind actually picked up, did it? It wasn't.
It
It
was
wasn't a
fine. It was
factor.
just really rainy and the
It
yeah,
was raining though.
dogs
The
didn't
wind
want to stay out
the
that long.
wind died down, so it wasn't a factor. But nice to be prepared.
Yeah.
This time it's gonna be a bunch of people having heat strokes.
Oh boy.
Bunch of drunk people. I haven't had a drink and I haven't had a drink of alcohol in 13 years.
Really?
Yeah.
13, not one?
13 years. Not one.
Dang.
Nope, not a single drop. Well,
That's good.
when your wife tells you the next time you take a drink, you'll never see her or your son ever again, no matter what, kind of hits home. Like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, maybe
Well, some people hear that and don't believe you, and then they learn.
Well,
Yeah.
and my son lives with me now, so he wouldn't be living with me now if I was
Yeah.
still
It
drinking.
depends what kind of person you are.
I'm not a very fun drunk, so no.
I just don't drink. I just don't. I've been trying to do this bar club scene around here. I just can't get into it. People go and drink and dance and like talk to people they don't know. It's not what I want to do. I'll play full, but if I don't,
You're the
I've got
cool
nothing
thing.
to do at a bar, then it's not worth it. I don't know.
Yeah, I get stoned every once in a while. Maybe a couple times a month. Well, it's like the only time that I'm ever able to actually relax in my head
Oh,
and shit doesn't fuck with me. It's like I'm just like,
yeah,
all right.
that's
So
nice.
a couple times a month and I'm good. Yep. When I had my knee replacement, the last time I was taking like 100 milligrams at a time. I'm only good for like 2.5 milligrams at any given time, and I was in so much pain. I was just throwing down gummies. But God damn it, stay away from me. But this time I don't think I think I maybe I got stoned one time after this replacement, and you know, went through maybe 20 Oxycontins, and that was it. So, yep, I'm doing more than I should on it. So I'm in a lot of pain, but it just takes longer to heal that way. It will heal. It
Yeah.
takes a lot longer, more painful.
Gosh.
So anyway, yep.
Yeah, I can't get out of my head either. I lose sleep. I just find stuff to do.
I don't get much sleep.
What?
Chantel goes, she goes, I don't know how you get by on 2 and 3 hours of sleep every night. I got worse. Been working for me for years. So yeah. Although I did remember,
Can't say
I
I
guess you know,
accomplish more, but I don't know. Get a lot of thinking done.
it does make it difficult when I'm driving home from the shelter and I'm tired, just
Oh yeah.
exhausted.
Oh
And
yeah.
like, because I totaled a rental car, I totaled a rental truck, rear-ending somebody on my way home
Ew.
from the shelter a couple of years back. Yeah.
I've had that.
Do you remember that? I got whiplash from it.
I don't remember. When was that?
I thought the car was on fire because I slammed in the back. I just nodded off for a second. I slammed in the back of the car, and the whole compartment of the truck was filled with smoke. And I'm like, oh Jesus Christ, the car's on fucking fire. I go, so I'm thinking to myself, so the car's still rolling, the car's on fire. I said, you can't stay in the car because the car's on fire. You gotta get the fuck out. But the car's still rolling. You're on the freeway, so I just veered it off to as close to the center as possible, and then when it finally stopped, I got out of the car. I'm like, what the? And it was the airbag. It wasn't on fire. I guess when the airbags deploy, smoke deploys with it, and I didn't know that.
I mean,
I
I
thought
know
the
the
fucking
airbag can injure you. I've never heard of it smoke.
that's the airbag gave me a whiplash, fucked up my neck,
Huh.
and yep. Annie came and picked me up. Actually, I'm calling my Annie. I just totaled my truck. They just parked it in Del Paso somewhere. Uh, can you come give me a ride? He's like, what the fuck? I'm like,
I did not know
man, I
that.
fell asleep. What are you gonna say?
No, I've
So
had, yeah, I've had that happen. I have to pull over sometimes. There's so much driving down here.
I'm too stupid to pull over. I
Um,
can't. I always think that I can make it. You only just roll down the window, put on some loud music, do something. Uh, Hit me in the ass that time. So
yes.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
Nobody got hurt, which is the important thing.
Yeah, that's good.
So
Yeah, that's
yeah.
great. Hmm. Well, I was gonna try to have a topic today. I was gonna ask about on the topic of people not being held accountable in this state and how it pertains to the animal shelter, since what this is a dog specific podcast.
Hmm.
Um,
People not being held accountable.
well, people like the people who own animals, the government, animal control itself, and like any even like nonprofits, rescues. To me, the biggest problem, I mean, they end up at the shelter because people aren't held accountable. They end up euthanized because a lot of shelters, just the management,
I think
is not
I think a
accountable.
lot. Yeah, but I think a lot of that has to do with the way that people look at animals
Yeah. Oh, yes,
because
yes. They're not valued.
they don't view them as creatures that have feelings, that
Yeah.
can feel pain, that suffer, and it's like everything that we can sense, we can feel. Animals can feel the same goddamn thing. Hey,
Yeah.
not that was anyway. Animals can feel the same thing. They can feel pain. They're happy. They're sad. They
Yeah.
get stressed, and people treat them like animals,
Yeah.
and that shouldn't be. It's like there's no reason there's no reason we should be euthanizing this many dogs, and it has a lot to do with responsibility. It's like people don't understand that when you go and you adopt a dog, that's a motherfucking huge commitment.
Yeah. It's 10, 15
In
years.
many senses, it's more of a commitment than a child. You know, a child you can teach a lot of things, and a dog you can teach a lot of things, but dogs, it's a big huge commitment.
Yeah.
People don't understand the commitment that's involved. Little dogs are easier,
Yeah. They're
a
like
lot
cats,
easier.
basically.
What's that?
A little dog's like a cat to me. It doesn't even qualify as. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
you
So
need pet care, and I don't know.
we've got a little dog staying. When my buddy's mom died, and
It's
so his mom had a dog, and so I sent him a text. He was in the Bay Area at the hospital when his mom died, and I sent him a text. I said, "I'm trying to be insensitive or anything like that, but I know that your mom has a dog. I don't know if you have any plans for the dog, But if you don't, bring the dog to the house and we'll figure something out,
Oh,
make
that's
it
one of
work.
your 5 right now?
So that's one of my 5 right now. Yeah.
Okay.
Um, but people just don't think about animals like they think about people,
Yeah,
and
well, because they don't
it's sad.
speak and they don't complain or state their needs or,
Well,
they
they do
don't
if you
put up a
they do
protest
complain
if
if
you
you
abuse
they
them. And
actually they do complain. Animals complain. You got to know how the you got to speak their language to know that they're
yeah, well,
complaining.
right.
Like
Not
people don't.
verbally.
I don't know. People just think it's like a little novelty, and it's
Yeah.
not a novelty.
Well, they
They
want a
suffer.
pet. They don't want a responsibility. So, yeah, there's a dog at the shelter right now that my favorite dog there. The owner moved. That's all.
Are you
So
talking about in
dog
LA?
was
Or are you talking?
LA, South
Okay.
LA. So owner moved, so he's dropped off, available immediately. And so of course the shelter, they're all outdoor kennels. So pretty much every dog inevitably gets a URI. He got a URI almost like I want to say within a week. And
Really?
so he was dropped off first, the owner gone forever, and then in a week, now he's stuck in his kennel for like multiple weeks because he's sick and no one can interact with him. So he got behavior problems, and now they do the walk by notes, and he's barking, so he has bad kennel presence, and so now he's on the at risk list, just because owner did not care to consider uh, dog friendly housing. It's a year old.
What kind of a dog is it?
This some mud pit I don't know pit bull lab I
Well,
don't know
everything these days is a pit bull.
brown dog.
Almost.
This is basic. This is what I heard them called California brown dog. Just no
Wow.
no breed.
You
Um
know that's like I kind of I forget. Oh, I know when it was. It was when remember? Do you remember? The garbage lift at Front Street Animal Shelter, the hydraulic garbage lift.
yeah.
So that
New one.
broke, and I
I
was
was like,
like,
what?
"Well, what's involved in it?" And so I go, "Well, let me go take a look at it." So I took a look at it, and I fixed it. Right.
Yeah.
So as soon as I fixed the hydraulic lift at Front Street Animal Shelter, all of a sudden I started doing maintenance stuff, and I'm like, "Oh, he can fix shit." I'm like, "Oh, I fixed that one. It might have just been luck, who knows?" But that's
Oh
how I
wait, this
kind of
is
got into the
originally
whole.
like because there
That's
was a
how I got into the maintenance
right?
role. But it's like I know when they're taking the dogs to the blue room, and I know what happens in the blue room.
Oh, right.
And it's like there are times when I'm driving home at night where that's all I can think about is seeing the dogs being led into the blue room for euthanization, and it takes everything I have not to just pull over and fucking start crying and just breaking down. It fucking sucks.
Yeah.
People suck.
Yeah, they do. That's why I
People
stopped
suck.
applying at the shelter. Because that's what it comes down to. It's the people that just don't care. They think someone else is going to take over their responsibility. Who cares less than they do
I
about
don't
their
even think
job?
they think that far through it. I think they just don't care.
Yeah.
They're self-absorbed.
Yes.
That, it's like
Um, and then the staff has to do that.
I
Puppies,
know.
just like less than a year, newborn, even if they can't be adopted. The over here, like Kern, all the desert counties, they get a ton of puppies from people who just breed them or let their dogs have puppies just so that they can make a profit and
Population
they have to
reduction plan.
euthanize puppies.
Population reduction plan. Here we go. Here we go. My population reduction plan for humans, not for dogs.
No.
Well, because here's the thing: is like we domesticate them, we make them dependent upon us, and we
Yeah.
abuse them, and we abandon them, and we treat them like
Yeah, and
it's.
a dog, unlike a human, dog will never turn its back on you. They're the last to deserve it. Um,
I got bit by a cocker spaniel, so I disagree with that statement.
No, I got bit
on
by
the
what was
on the
it, dog
face,
daycare the other day. I can't remember what it was. A little dog. It's
I had 28 stitches in my face.
gee, Cocker Spaniel.
I should have dug up the pictures. I
You
have
should
them
have called
somewhere.
the news, made them do a
It was
story.
just, I was like, the dog lunged at me, and when he lunged at me, because I was kneeling down to pet him at my friend's house, he lunged at me. When he lunged at me, I jerked up, and that's what ripped open my face.
Ugh.
Yep, thing would bounce. And when I went to the emergency room, they were giving me either lidocaine, whatever's to numb my nose before they gave me the stitches.
Yeah.
And I guess the nose is so vascular that all that anesthesia got pumped out. So when he did the first stitch,
Ooh.
I almost came out. I'm like, what the fuck? He goes, oh. well, he said we can do a block on your armpit to block or where I can just stitch you without any numbing stuff, and I go just stitch it. So he stitched 28 stitches without any numbing. My poor girlfriend's hand. She's just she's just sitting there. I'm like
I know
crushing her.
it's all the fancy, the unsocialized, like single dog, I mean, dog daycare. I was doing the small dog yard, and those dogs, because they don't socialize their dogs, and they don't.
Socialization's key with animals, with the
Yeah,
dogs.
those are the ones that bite.
Yep.
So they're
Yep.
just they're spoiled. They don't. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. I mean, I don't know. I don't have any answers to the. I don't have any answers to the whole dog problem. I have answers to the human problem.
You want to elaborate?
No, population reduction plan.
Just keep it
Like
simple.
it's like Bill Burr always jokes in his comedy acts that we need a plague. You know, we need to
Oh, we had
we need
that.
to
No,
put.
they tried that one out already. That really low.
Yeah, that plague wasn't good enough. He goes, we need a plague to wipe off enough people off the planet so you can just fill one stadium for the Super Bowl and everybody gets to go. I was like, you know, it's like people suck. They really do. I mean, that's it's it's not fair to group everybody into that category because not everybody's like that. But I mean, as a general rule, people suck.
Oh,
You
yes,
know,
I agree. Yeah.
general people do suck.
And they don't reflect on why they suck because they just don't think they're the problem ever. So that's the
Nope.
crux of the issue, I think. Is
Yeah. Yeah. I
yeah.
mean, it's like people don't. So when a person adopts a pet, they don't think about veterinary costs. You know, it's like
Pet sitting. If you go on vacation, you
you
can't leave
go,
your dog for
yep, you
Christmas.
can't just leave. I mean, you can't just leave the dog in the house. It's like a lot of factors that are involved. Pets are not cheap. That's like
Yeah.
not. I think not last year, but the year before. I think we spent 10,000. Chantel and I spent 10,000 in vet bills.
Yeah.
One on Buddy and one on
That's
Rowan, and
ragged.
it's it's a lot. But what are you gonna do?
Yeah, well,
You know.
that's another problem, the pharmaceutical industry. But anyway, I worked
That's
at
my girlfriend's
corporate
job.
vet.
That's my girlfriend's job. So pharmaceutical industry. She's a sales rep for
Ah,
Bristol Myers Squibb. Yep.
oh
And
boy.
I always give her shit about it. I go, you work for the devil. You work for
Someone's got
Satan.
to do it.
She doesn't. They didn't do any of the vaccine stuff. So that was fist. That was Pfizer. She worked for Pfizer before,
Really?
and yep. But before the vaccines came out, yeah. And she went
Ah,
over to Bristol Myers Squibb.
I mean, that's how
And
you get all the inside knowledge.
yeah, I don't want any of it. It's you know, there's a new medication called Camzyos that came out. It's for I think stage 4 heart disease or something like that, where it's it'll take you a couple steps back and so you can actually enjoy like a productive like if you're in stage 4, I think it's heart disease. You can barely even get up and move around, and it gives you mobility again and stuff. So, but it's expensive, you know. So, but yeah, then she sells that. She sells a blood thinner. Um, I should know it. I see the literature every day. It's in my face all the time. I forget the name of it. But yeah, so she drives all over the place, going to different medical offices. That's a good job. Good
Yeah,
job.
probably pays.
Yes, very well.
We got
Very,
about
very well.
10 minutes left, it says.
Okay. Does
Yeah,
that mean that
it's a
does that
time
mean
meeting.
you
I
only have
don't
10
pay for
minutes
it.
left and we're done?
What's that?
Cut it? Does that mean 10 minutes and we're done cutting it?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
just times out because I don't pay for Zoom. So I have to
Like,
find
I don't
another
know,
platform.
right. So, so you're talking about, you said the nobody's held accountable for.
Yeah.
Um, so Z-Man is the director at French Animal Shelter. Right now, he took over for Gina when I think Gina retired. She had been there for she'd been there for quite a while. In fact, she'd offered me 2 jobs. Well,
Yeah, I
two,
remember.
two jobs at 2 separate times for the same animal care technician position. And I turned her down both times. I'm like, nope, I enjoy volunteering. Besides, my VA disability for combat PTSD would kind of get screwed up if I did that. So I said thank you for the offer, and they both of them completely different managerial styles.
Well,
I
I've
think
only heard good things about Gina, and
Gina
not
was great. Gina
about
doing
her.
a great job. Gina was more hands-on. She was like she would get into it more. I think Phil's more of a diplomat type of a
Oh yeah, in politics, yeah,
politics. He does the politics well.
yeah.
Um, but so they just had an audit. I haven't read through the audit. Did I send you that audit?
Yeah, you sent it. I have to look through. It's like over 100 pages.
Yeah, I printed it up. I was going to read through it to see
Yeah.
what's going on.
And
Because
we'll be audited here too, the city and the county shelters.
Joda's the new volunteer that's doing maintenance or the handyman work at the shelter alongside of myself. And he it's funny because he sent me a picture. You know where the crates are, the crate area, right by across from the garbage cans at the shelter, where they have all the crates for the animals, the dog crates.
Oh yeah.
So he sent me a picture of that the crate area, and he goes, what would it take to put a top over this to cover it up? And I go, that's funny that the same things that bother me at the shelter bother you because I've been wanting to put a top on that because it's crazy. It's like all the crates get soaking wet,
Yeah,
and then
that's
you have
true.
to wash them over and over and over again. It's like just put a false top on it, something to keep the elements from. And so now he's talking about annexes. The little storage containers like you see on ships, cargo ships.
Yeah.
When a ship comes into a port, it's got those metal boxes on it. Well, those can be purchased for get off me, bug. Those can be purchased for I don't know, anywhere from $500 to $2,000, and they're perfect for storage. It's like the dog food that we have at the shelter for the shelter is
Yeah, the
stored in
storage
that
bin. Yeah, the shipping
uh,
container.
shipping container, and you could put two of those off to the left of where the behavioral building was, and you could stack them. That would be perfect for all the storage needs the shelter has. Because the Dr. Smalley was talking about getting a tough shed for the vet clinic, and I said, well, I can go talk to Home Depot, see if I can't get a good deal on it, or just get them to donate it to the shelter
I
because
got
they
a
don't have
donation from Home Depot. Yeah,
yeah, but then they don't
for
have
the
any
shelter.
the vet clinic doesn't have any shelter, doesn't have any storage. It's all crammed in
Oh.
the little building.
Hmm.
So they definitely need a new shelter.
Yeah, that was a consensus from the what's it
But
called?
if you look
Shelter needs assessment.
if you look at the audit, the morale at the one page that I did see, the morale of the shelter was terrible.
Yeah, I've
And
heard. Yeah, I mean, how many people quit so far
when you have low morale
in the past
at
year?
a dog shelter, that has a direct impact on the way that the animals are treated
Yeah,
and the way that the animals, it's like if you have people with a positive attitude and they're happy with their doing their job as an animal care technician and animal care officer, it's going to reflect on the way the animals are treated and the job that's done.
yeah. Well, people
Even
just
if it's
stick out
just
on
like
doing
even if
certain
it's just
things.
disinfecting an extra kennel for giardia or something like that or parvo, it's like it all has an impact on the animals.
Yeah, well, and then they just don't want to do anything extra. It's just already overwhelming. And like adoption counseling, people don't want to. They're not super enthusiastic about anything that they're trying to accomplish. That it doesn't get done very well if that's the entire work environment.
I know that I know I've seen a lot of staff come and go,
Yeah, me too.
and
Year, oh, 1 year.
they're most of them. I've only seen a couple that weren't that dedicated, but most of them are pretty dedicated to the animals, and you gotta. I couldn't do it because I couldn't euthanize.
Yeah, that's what it came down to. When I stopped after 7 shelters and 7 no's, I said, no.
Like
I think
I couldn't euthanize the dogs. I'd be like, nope,
What's that?
I couldn't euthanize the dogs like
No,
they do. So
no. I don't think there are bad dogs. I think it's the owner's fault if they have
if it was people we were taking in the blue room, I'd be okay with that. Population reduction plan. Yeah. That I don't know how they do it. I guess
I mean,
it's like
get
in
mentally
combat
messed up.
after the
You pretty
first
much
kill in
just develop
combat,
your own
the rest of
behavior problems.
it's just I don't know. Your first kill in combat is the most traumatic, and the rest of it after that is just nothing. So I guess maybe it's the same thing with euthanizing the dogs. Kill off fucking mosquitoes. Euthanize the first dog. Who knows? I don't know.
I think you just
I
have
never.
to compartmentalize and you rationalize what you're doing because you can't keep doing the same thing.
Yeah,
And
but compartmentalization in your mind is a very dangerous thing. It
yeah,
leads to a lot of destructive behavior.
I've seen that firsthand with some
I,
staff
I've seen it.
members.
I've done it firsthand. So
Yeah, and
most of my life, anyway.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. All I know is that California just overtook Japan as the fourth largest economy in the world.
They say that. Is that true?
I mean,
That's believe.
I mean, it doesn't really mean anything. All it means is that we're a large state, that we have a
Yeah,
large economy. It doesn't mean that we're powerful or that we're great or that we're not. You
there's
know,
just a lot of
a
activity
third
here.
of our population isn't on fucking some sort of public assistance.
Right.
You know,
Not from
it
here.
just means that we're a large state and we
Yeah.
have a large economy. Um, I don't think it means much more than that, but you would think that for a state with the fourth largest economy and as progressive as California claims to be,
Yeah, right.
you could put a better face on the city shelter for the state, for the capital of the state.
It's just
It's like it's embarrassing.
everyone passes the buck. It's no one's fault. It's not my fault. It's the other guy. It's-
Well, I mean, I get money is an issue, but you know what? It's like how many billions of dollars did they waste on the homeless? And California wasted.
yeah, I
Not
know.
even,
I worked directly with
and
the
it didn't,
homeless in my
and
last
it
job.
didn't
Yeah,
even
I
have an
know.
impact. It didn't have an impact in any way, shape, or form. And the homeless situation, the population of homeless in California increased.
It's a business, homeless industry. Yeah, there's a lot of industries here that contribute to our economy and they can give people jobs.
I
Six
mean, I get it. You know,
incomes.
if you're a combat veteran, it's a lot easier to be homeless and not have any cares or concerns. You don't have to worry about bills. You don't have to worry about, you know, a bunch of things like that. I get that part from the combat vet aspect of it and the mental health. But it's like we should be able to, as a society, take these people and put them into programs
Yeah.
and say, look, go in this program, all right? Or, it's like, fuck. No, no. I don't know what the answer is. I know the answer is population reduction.
And it's a wrap. We have less than a minute.
Population reduction plan. The
Well,
Hobo
thank
Can
you for
Go app.
coming, Mark.
I'll plug the Hobo Can Go app right now. There you go.
Hobo can go.
The Hobo Can Go app. It's just like the Pokemon Go app, but it's for hobos. There you go.
There you go.
Drive around,
That's
collect the
it.
hobos up, drop them off at the bum raft station. There you go.